What's up, Black 22 Nation? It's your boy Gobo coming at you live on a pre-recorded show, but it's live to us. This is the Week 5 NFL recap show, and man, I think James and I were just talking pre-production. We both did pretty well. James did a little better, but some of my prognostications, I'm getting closer. Still wrong, but closer.
I love it because when you do it, I roll my eyes and then I watch and I'm like, what? I'm like, this is
You
not going
know,
to happen. It's not going to happen right
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep making wild claims until one of them is 100% right, and then like viral status, and then I'll be working for ESPN.
now.
Um,
They'll be working for us
they'll be working for us. That's right.
because
Take
we get
that,
it right and
Disney.
they don't.
Yeah, we definitely have the buying power. All right, so let's get started. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. We both predicted this was going to be a close game. This one goes to overtime, correct?
Dude, no. This was one in regulation, wasn't it?
I thought it went to, oh, okay. I was confused by the six. I thought that it went to overtime. But either way,
Oh, maybe it did. Why didn't I mark that? Let's stat check. See, ESPN's already given us a call, bro.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Dude,
I was told the rules said that we weren't gonna be fact checked.
yeah, that's good. That's good shit. All right. It was overtime, correct.
Okay, all right. I'm not going crazy. We both picked Tampa Bay by a field goal, and I said that Koo misses a field goal as time expires. I believe that he made that field goal.
I'm sitting there watching it going, this fucking guy.
Right, yeah, he made the field goal, did send it to overtime. Atlanta wins in overtime.
Dude, why do I told you I didn't want to pick Tampa. I'm like, I have a hard time picking Tampa.
And I had the same kind of reaction. And I remember texting you, and I was like, I don't know who this Atlanta team is. Like, they have like a totally inconsistent game one week, and then the next week, they're superstars again. They're meeting their potential of how much talent they have. So, I
I
mean,
mean,
what
I
is
want to say his name's Kirk Cousins, the inconsistency, but it's not just him.
it's
You're
not.
right. What is this team? Are they good?
I mean, I think that like maybe a better quarterback galvanizes them, but I mean, like from a talent perspective, Cousins is probably one of the better
500
quarterback players on the
yards.
market. Yeah.
500 yards.
No, he played a great game. I mean, Atlanta puts up 30 points. They put up 30 points and still found a way to lose. So it's like I don't
It
understand what this
was.
team is. And to your point, I don't understand what Tampa Bay is. How did they get blown out by the Broncos at home? And then they go and they play this inspired game, and they've had a couple of these now.
Tampa lost this game.
Correct. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. We talked
But
about
still,
this.
putting up 30 points on the road to a division rival, like that's still pretty impressive.
Dude, this division has been garbage for a long time, but these two teams they're promising, man. Both of them. I could see both of them in the playoffs.
I think it's possible. I really love what Baker Mayfield's doing. I know that there are some consistency issues with Tampa's backfield and receiving core. Um, but I think that like Baker's keeping them in games that they don't really necessarily have a right to be in.
Well, and this is another one, Gobo, where overtime rules. Tampa didn't touch the ball in overtime. So, I
Not a
mean,
lot of defense, and so
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, look at the score. I mean, it was indicative that whoever got the ball first was probably going to be, especially at that point in the game when the defenses were exhausted.
mm-hmm. So
It was a good game. Good
NFC
game.
South. If you're a gambler, NFC South games take the over because the defenses suck. Um, all right, the Jets, Minnesota, jolly old England. We both picked right. We both picked Minnesota. We both were pretty off on the scores. Jets kept it a little closer, but I was one pick away from my prognostication being correct. Aaron Rodgers throws three picks, one of them being a pick six. So one pick six away from the promised land for old Gobes.
I'm pretty proud of my score pick. I was off by 3 points on 4 points on one side. But here's the thing. I said this is the beginning of the Jets unraveling. And we'll get there. We'll get there.
I was gonna say that is a topic for another show, but
I mean, we can talk about it in this show
I
because
mean, yeah, I mean,
a
we could
different
talk
show.
about it. Yeah, I mean, Robert Saleh got fired. Everybody knows that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like we're bringing you breaking news. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that like when I watch the Jets, especially this season, you can see how talented they are. You can see how good that defense is. You can see how much Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson want to break out and like do some stuff. And then you see Aaron Rodgers and his four buddies who used to play for the Packers just being old and being shitty, and Robert Saleh calling plays that would not win a high school game. So like, I mean, this is not news to me. It was never news to me that this was going to happen. And I think that this is also the last year Aaron Rodgers suits up for the Jets.
Well, there's a consensus out there that Aaron Rodgers is the reason this guy's fired. I have problems saying that looking at his record. But
I mean, you're probably not wrong. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of pull with front offices. He always has. I mean, it was the same shit when he was in Green Bay. I mean, like he would show up to the game wearing a different uniform, and the rest of the team would have to change because they were like, well, can't tell him to change. Like, so it's just he's yeah, he's a diva on top of being, you know, kind of mentally unstable. And then now as like as his play deteriorates, I mean, he's still good. He's still a starter caliber, but he's not the level of talented that he needs to be to put up with the
I agree.
anyways. Vikings win 5-0. I mean, nobody's talking about that about this game. That's crazy. They're going into the bye, the Vikings are undefeated. Um Another sort of shocker. We both correctly picked the Bears. Bears 36, Panthers 10. A
That was
rout.
the shocker. That was the
A
shocker.
rout. I was shocked as well. I know what our Bears fans are gonna say about this. Caleb Williams, he's the answer. Like he finally figured it out. Like the Bears are moving. Like they're coming along. They look great. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. Whatever fucking narrative the Bears fans are gonna have on this. Um, in reality, I mean they stomped an opponent who got a win the previous week. Um, but here's the thing, and I think that like when you look at the Panthers, it is so frequent their players are out of position. Um, the players like disheartened. Nobody wants to be there. They're clearly there just picking up a paycheck. I think that the Panthers coach is probably the next on the chopping block. Um, they benched their number one overall pick quarterback. Like it, Panthers fans are in hell right now. Like, and so maybe that's better than what's going on in Chicago where they have hope, where they think that the Bears are definitely going to the playoffs, that Caleb Williams is definitely the answer, that everything is in place where it needs to be for them to make a deep run. And it's like, I don't see it. I really don't. I would love to see the Bears stack up against the Vikings or stack up against, the Packers, like they played the Texans and lost. Like, I mean, I congrats on the win. I don't read too much into it. Is all I'm
No,
trying.
you look, Bears fans, you beat him. You beat up on a weaker kid.
Yeah, beat the shit. That's what you're supposed to do. You get out there. You're not supposed to show mercy. This is the NFL. You're supposed to win the game. So they did what they were supposed to do. But like, yeah, I don't see that this being a huge. I mean, it's a morale booster, but I don't see it as indicative of how good the Bears are. It's just how bad the Panthers are.
No, and also you have the DJ Moore factor. Just wanted to whoop up on his old team, and they didn't really care to stop him. So
I mean,
Dave
maybe he had a
Canales,
deal. It's like he had
Dave
like with the
Canales,
defense. Yeah, he only had like beers with the defense the night before. He's like, hey, just let me score a couple of times. Like, and they're
yeah,
like, yeah, for sure. No, DJ Moore had a great game. He looked very good in this game. Baltimore Cincinnati. So I picked Cincinnati. I'm pretty proud of myself because they almost pulled it off. They had a multiple score lead going into I think the late third, early fourth. Found a way to blow it.
And I
Uh,
said I would have picked Cincinnati had they been in Cincinnati. Or I'm
they
sorry,
were in Cincinnati.
we're in
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
yeah,
Um, I picked Baltimore because you picked Cincinnati.
correct. Um, you know what? I mean, it was a good game. Um, exciting football. Not a lot of defense. Lamar game-winning drive, game-winning field goal from Justin Tucker. That
Dude,
guy is immortal, man. Like he's
you
gonna be.
see that play where he fell on the ground, got up, ran around, like just dished off two tacklers and threw a laser touchdown. That's one of the best football plays I've ever seen in my life. Lamar Jackson still got ball.
Lamar Jackson is a special player for sure. Um, and it's funny because it's like I think that when you look, I mean, because he has at least one MVP now. Not a lot of postseason success, but I mean, to his credit, he runs in. There's a lot of real. This is a very talented time in the AFC. Like the last 5 years, the AFC has just been completely stacked with these super talented teams. Um,
Dude, would you say Jim Kelly was a terrible quarterback just because they lost four Super Bowls in a row? No,
I would not.
you would
I
not
would
say
not say
that.
that. It'd be like saying Bruce Smith isn't the best perimeter rusher of all time, which it's
Right.
like, as a Reggie White fan, it's hard for me to say that, but I think has him beat by just a little bit. Um, anyways, but yeah, good football game. The better team won. They didn't win in the fashion that I thought they would, but I thought Cincinnati might show some balls at home. I think that they did sort of, but yeah, I think it's going to be tough. Ohio teams in general are having a tough year this year.
Well, let me am I correct when I say that the Bengals had the ball or no, Baltimore got the ball. They fumbled it to the Bengals and the Bengals did in their field position and they did nothing to move the ball in three downs and I believe they missed a field goal and that allowed Baltimore to get the ball back. So they had every chance to win this game because they had the ball in overtime in field goal range and they missed.
Cincinnati did.
Yeah, and that's after they had forced a turnover.
That's
So
right.
field
That's
goal
right.
would have won the game.
That's right. And they missed it. You're right. I do remember that. You know what? Sucks to suck, nerds. Um,
Are the
Houston and
Bengals
Buffalo.
done? Are they out? They're 1 and
Yeah,
4, bro.
they're done. I don't see them making the playoffs. I mean, it's possible. There's still a lot of season left, but like you got to think about like what is the mentality going into this next game? It's like, oh, okay, we have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We have one of the best receivers in the league. We have, you know, all these moves, these offseason acquisitions that we've made. Like we've tried to bolster our offense, but we're losing every game, including to a Panthers team that's not trying to win. Like I don't know how you move forward from that. I don't know if I'm their coach. I mean, like I'm going into the locker room and being like, you need to decide if football is for you at this point because it's like there's like what is the point of like going out there and playing like this? It's just like I don't know. It's struck.
Weird. That's like
It
a high
was.
school conversation. It's like a
I
high
mean,
school conversation of kids going into college.
right? Yeah. I'm like I'm talking to like a 7-year old. It's like what? If you guys want to join the swim team, you can do that. It's okay. It's not for everybody, but if you want to play football, you got to come here and play football. So like that.
Good stuff, Gobo. Good stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's the same conversation I'd have in Carolina, but Carolina, I understand it because I look at like who's on the roster and I'm like, oh, it makes sense why this team is so bad.
Yeah.
Cincinnati doesn't make any sense to me. Um, Buffalo and Houston. Um,
This
maybe
surprises me.
this was
You
a good ass game,
I
man.
can't believe you picked Buffalo.
You know what? I picked Buffalo. Um, Why did I pick Buffalo? Now I'm
I
like,
must have picked. I must have picked Houston
you
first.
must have picked Houston first because this was a toss up. I mean, looking at like our score predictions, like we definitely knew this was going to come down to the wire. I think that I picked Buffalo. I remember I did pick Buffalo because of Josh Allen. I thought Josh Allen in the clutch in a key moment was going to find it.
That's such a switch for us because I started out saying they're contenders as long as they have Josh Allen, and you're like Houston's the best team in the AFC. That's how we started this whole
And you
thing.
know what?
Season.
That's the thing. That's what's fun about the NFL. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Nope.
Shit happens. But like, I think something that we probably agree on, the few things that we agree on is Josh Allen is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and Houston is probably the best team in the AFC. I mean,
No, I fully agree with that, and I can't believe that Buffalo is I don't think they're going to lose this week, but could be three in a row if they lose, and then they'll be not the division leader anymore.
I
So
mean that would be unfortunate. Because yeah, who would take over the lead in that division?
Jets.
The Jets? Yeah, good lord. Like we live in a world where the Jets might make the playoffs. That's the world that
No,
we live.
no, no, we don't. Not
We,
yet.
you know what?
No, we don't. I,
I I'll believe it when it happens. Um, Houston wins a close one. Miami Fairbairn last second field goal to take it. Great football game, a lot of fun to watch. Don't even really mind that I picked wrong there.
dude, CJ Stroud is fun to.
He's.
Those two quarterbacks going head to head.
I
I
was
could
like
watch
that.
the game every
They're
week.
studs, man. They're gonna be in the Pro Bowl together. Like,
I
yeah,
could
they're
watch that
they're
game every week.
superstars. CJ Stroud is so impressive to me. Um, Indianapolis and Jacksonville. Um, man, I hate watching Jacksonville. Like, I hate watching this team because it's like they're literally a college team. I think that if you take, because I mean, like, who's the best college team at this point? Because Alabama just lost to Vanderbilt, so I don't even fucking know who the best college. Texas. So like, you take Texas and stack them up against the Jaguars. I'm not saying Texas wins, but it's going to be a better game than you would expect it to be.
You were texting along those lines, and I love Indianapolis,
Mhm.
but I honestly think that Jacksonville is not as bad as their record, and I think the second half of the season they're probably going to be one of the teams that finishes winning seven in a row, making a run. That's what I
I
see.
mean, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Um, I don't think they have the defense, man. I'll be honest. I
Well,
think
I
that
can't name any players on their team other than Bigsby.
over I thought on the defense. Yeah, I don't know anybody on the defense.
Uh,
I thought Jalen Ramsey played for them for some reason, but I don't
he's
think so.
a Dolphin, right?
He's a Dolphin. Yeah. I was like, it was some shitty team in Florida. Um. So, anyways, I picked
Oh,
Indy. You picked Jacksonville. You got it right. Jacksonville wins. Indianapolis.
they scored a lot though. Both those teams scored a lot. I was like,
Yeah, there was
that
not a
was
lot of defense in this game.
a fun game.
You know, I don't hate it.
I need Richardson to come back though, because I can't watch.
Yeah, you know what? I think Richardson plays in this game. It's a different narrative, different final score for sure. All right. The Patriots. Who did they
Look
play
at
in
this
this
game.
game? It was the
Look at this
Patriots
game.
and Dolphins. Good God. Like, and yeah, I picked the game New England 16-3. You picked them 19-14. Final score was 15-10.
I have mine as 15-14.
15. Oh,
Oh no, you're right. You're
that's
right.
no, that's Denver. Yeah, that's how you picked
You're right.
Denver.
You're right.
Um, yeah, no, I don't even know what's worth talking about in this game. It's just shitty football. These teams suck. Both these teams are terrible.
I
Um, I thought New England was honestly a little bit better than this. Interesting. I mean, we'll talk about it on the other show, but New England after a win decides to go with Drake May next week.
yeah.
That's interesting. How are you gonna win the game and lose your job? Either way, Patriots win. We're both right. Moving on to a much more exciting team, the Washington Commandy Boys. Um, I mean, so for one, you asked the Cincinnati done. Cleveland is done. Like they're, I imagine after they lose next week, they're gonna, we're gonna see some coaches get fired. We're gonna see some personnel change. We're gonna see some players probably get benched. Um, we're gonna talk about Deshaun on the next show, but like, goddamn, this was a clinic. This was just Washington. I think that they are proving that they are a legit contender, which is crazy to me, which you predicted, and I got to give it to you, man. Like I think you're right. I they watching this team, they have it together, and that quarterback, man, like he throws the ball with such confidence, and he just like he doesn't get shaken by anything. Like he's got Myles Garrett punching him in the face, he gets right back up. It's like
No,
I don't
and
give a shit. I'll throw a
you know
touchdown.
what I read early on that made me think that he does VR practice. He
Oh,
wears a headset, and he did that in college. They instituted that in college, so he wasn't taking the hits on his body, but he was like able to run through the playbook even like at home, like it's a video game.
okay.
And they adopted that for him in Washington. So they had
Yeah,
they
why not?
I would predict within the next 10 years, you're gonna have most teams on this, especially if he's the poster boy for it. Because I'm telling you, man, that when he came out, I've been saying all along that kid's gonna be the guy. And they're putting up
I mean,
points. Really, I'm be dude, the NFL schedulers are so amazing. Wait till you see the schedule this week, dude.
I'm excited.
It's
I
so
mean, honestly, yeah, it's he's legit. And you know those kids love their video games. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they start incorporating VR if it's especially if it works for this one guy. But yeah, I mean he's definitively offensive rookie of the year. I don't think there's any question about it at this point.
hell, he might be
Uh,
MVP.
what's that?
He might be MVP.
Uh at this way, Sam Darnold's gonna get the MVP. Um, anywho,
Let's see
uh,
that game.
oh my God, that's gonna be a fun one. That's hopefully it's not the Super Bowl. Or no, that'll be in the and they're both in the NFC, so that'd be like, ooh, you know what? There's a good chance.
That would be a great
There's a good chance, but I think both these teams are going to be in the playoffs. So, um, all right. Anyways, Vegas and Denver. One of these teams will unfortunately probably make the playoffs. I don't know. It's uh another just like kind of who gives a shit game. Vegas looked bad. Like bad. I love that Max Crosby is playing so in everyone's face and just like doing his thing and you can't block him and he talks shit and it's just like he'll get 4 sacks in a game, this team will still lose by like 30 points. So it's like who cares? Um no Devontae, no offense. We knew that was gonna happen. Um I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Broncos either. I turn on the radio. The big thing is the Broncos have this is the 10th season the Broncos have not had a winning record.
dude.
Uh
But check this out. Bo Nix, first Donkeys quarterback to win, rookie quarterback to win 3 consecutive games.
not nothing.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. And that win over Tampa has me kind of confused because at first it's like, are the Broncos a fluke? And then you see a couple of these games and you're like, they can figure it out a little bit, but then they also have like because they had at least one bad loss on the record. I'm trying to think about
Let
remember.
me ask you this though, Gobo. After watching Denver the first 2 weeks, would you have thought that's a team that could put up 34 points on offense?
Not at all. Absolutely not. I saw in preseason I saw Bo Nix in person and I'm like, this kid, he's got some talent, but he's definitely not ready for the league. But unfortunately he's the best quarterback on the roster, so he's gonna play. But I mean, he's proven. I mean, the Jets win, that one's tough because that was such an ugly game and there were so many opportunities that the Jets basically gave to them. So it's hard to say that the Broncos really won that game more than the Jets lost it, but like they definitely won this game. They definitely won the Tampa game. So like it's I gotta give them some credit. I hate doing it because you think Bears fans are obnoxious, like come to Denver for a few minutes.
Uh,
Um but Denver gets a win over a rival too. You know, that's rivalry games, you can never really tell. Um they get it done. Okay. I think we're on to the only game that I got right and you got wrong.
yeah,
Oh wait, no.
I'm troubled by the fact that you picked Arizona, but I can't defend it now because they won.
Oh no, I got the Giants game right too. Um yes, Arizona beats the 49ers. Here's what's concerning to me is that like I picked this, I had my reasons for picking it. I think Arizona's got a couple of good pieces. They're in San Francisco. What the hell is going on with the 49ers this year? Are
Can I
they done?
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy doesn't scare anyone. He's not the answer, dude. Look at this. You had Colin Kaepernick who went 27 and 6 in his first 30 games or whatever, and then he was out of the league. Then you bring Jimmy Garoppolo in. He's like 21 and 6 in his first 30 game, out of the league. Brock Purdy, guess what? He's like 23 and 6.
I mean, I think it's like when you set the precedent, and it's like I wonder, we'll find out if Jordan Love is our actual next franchise quarterback, but like you look at like teams that have the back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Montana and Young. It's like after those two guys, nobody really special has come across for the Niners. I think Colin Kaepernick had the potential, but he took too many shots to the head, lost his depth perception. And so like so now the 49ers have this like really high standard. It's just like if it's not Joe Montana, it's not good enough. And they're gonna keep trying. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
like Brock Purdy. I think he's talented. I think that this year, for whatever reason, the Niners are not getting what they need.
I I honestly I'm not worried. He doesn't scare me. Like the rest of their team is filthy, nasty, good. But as long as he's back there, I just don't
And I
like
I
Geno
gotta give it.
Smith, dude. You don't fear Geno Smith. No one fears
I
Geno
do
Smith.
not. I do
He
not
could
for
could he cut you up? Yeah, he could.
you can do it.
But are you scared of that? Are you going into that game? Are you thinking, Gino, we got to watch out, Gino, he's going to cut us up? No, you don't think that. No one ever thinks that. Brock Purdy's the same way, and I don't have a problem admitting that about my team. I'm just saying when I look at Brock Purdy, I don't see a quarterback that I know is like, oh my god, like Steve Young. That dude was, I was
Oh yeah.
scared.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to play
There was
against Steve Young.
there was a lot of those quarterbacks, man. I mean, it's just like Patrick Mahomes is one of those ones. You never want to see him on the schedule, because you know he'll find a way.
If you leave 17 seconds on a 2 point or 3 point game, you
You're
know
gonna
you
lose.
go overtime against Mahomes. You just
Yeah,
know it.
yeah. It's like why the fuck would you want to do that? Yeah, Kurt Warner was one of mine. For whatever reason, every time that dude came around, he just in the playoffs, the dude just found a way to win.
Dude,
Um,
I'll say Mark Bulger was one of those people for me.
shit. Eli Manning. Like I've had a lot of bad experiences in the
Peyton
playoffs.
Manning.
Peyton. Yeah. Oh, Peyton. Either way. Arizona wins. Niners. Good luck, babe. It's not looking good. Um, my Packers against the Rams. Kind of a closer game than I was hoping for, but you know what? We got it done. Um,
Thank you.
find a way to find a
Are they
way.
done? 1-4?
The Rams. It's pretty tough, but you know what? That division right now is wide open. The Niners are tanking. Seattle is inconsistent, sorry to say.
Yeah.
The fucking Cardinals are definitely in like a rebuild. So I mean it's like any one of those four teams could take it at this point. even at 1-4. Like the winner of that division is going to be like 9-8. So no, I'm not counting on any team in that division yet. All right, it's NFL time, and
Yeah,
this is Jas. If you're watching, you decided to quit the show, and you decided to miss this moment that you could have had.
that's
So,
right.
um,
You had a mini moment in chat that didn't make any sense, but whatever. We'll discuss that here in a
it's
second.
okay. It's
All
okay.
right, so
The
we got
chances
New York at Seattle, right? That's what we're talking
New
about.
York and Seattle. You know what? And I could have seen this as a trap game if it was Seattle going to New York because there's so much travel, there's so much variance, there's so much other stuff. Um, so I'm gonna let you talk about it. Like what happened in this game.
Well, I can't blame the officials. If anything, the first drive of the game, I was irate because they were just driving on us. Run, pass, it doesn't matter. Like this defense has no identity, and they just drove down the field on us. And if there were such thing as goal line cameras right now, we're probably looking at a different story. But as it turned out, before the running back crossed the goal line, he fumbled the ball, and our guy picked it up and took it 101 yards for a tutty. So it was 7-0 in favor of Seattle right away. And then we kicked off and they drove down the field again. And I'm just sitting there going, this team sucks. They don't even have their primary wide receiver. And it didn't matter. The defense has no identity. I mean, I realize there's a couple injuries, but there's no excuse. We have zero linebackers on our team, and I think that's a huge problem
Oh, yeah.
because our coverage guys are good, but if you're not getting to the quarterback and you're giving those wide receivers extra time, uh it's a bad scenario. But here's the thing. Jas wants to say that they dominated us. Well, time of possession they did, but yards and pretty much everything else but points was in Seattle's favor. But here's the thing. There's any number of events that could have happened with being the not going for it on fourth down and going down 2 scores. Geno Smith runs 20 yards and slides a yard short of the first down. Like, why didn't you just dive across the line, you douche? Like he played a great game, but that was just dumb. I realize he's trying to save his body, but at some point you have to be like, team's on
Yeah.
my back. If I don't do it, no one
At
else
the end of
is
the day,
doing
it's
it.
your job to win the game too.
K9 ran 5 times. We gave him the ball 5 times. That's unacceptable.
Mm.
And here's the thing that kills me, dude. Geno Smith was poised and ready to win that game. We got the ball back with 2 minutes to go, and he was driving the freaking field. He throws a ball to JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, on third down and like 4, and he drops it. He drops it going to the sideline, forcing us to kick a 51-yard field goal that gets blocked. We go down 9, no chance. But we had plenty of time in regulation with the timeout. Geno's slinging. If the other guys do their job, that game is over. So I don't want to hear no dominated. Yeah, you came in and you actually showed that you could play against a mediocre team.
And a team in the NFL, yes.
Yeah, a team in the like right. Like you're like the argument that you're making to me is like I think that we're amazing. We're going to the Super Bowl. I don't believe I had us third. I have picked us third in the division. I can't believe we're first right
Right.
now, even after losing to the Giants. But good lord, dude.
I still think the Giants get the number one pick and take Brock Ehlers.
I think yeah, I could see them not winning another game. And here's the thing I told Jess. They've played already one division game against Dallas and they got curb stomped by Dallas. We have yet to play a division game. It's possible that neither one of our teams win a division game this year. It's possible.
It's possible.
Um, so I don't know where delusion comes from, but you fucking talk about playoffs and these two teams, get a grip. It's just not
We're just
reality.
trying to win one game. Talk
Not,
about the
not
playoffs to
reality.
me. Um. Anyways, unfortunate. Yeah, and it's just like I'm gonna say one thing about this game is that it's like it's not surprising to me to hear that the Giants dominated time of possession because it was like you said, the Seahawks, it was pretty obvious their mid-level defense was lacking. And it's like you see run the ball, 4 yard, 5 yard dump off, shitty throws that even Daniel Jones can complete, and they just held the ball and they found a way to just to work it. And then yeah, blocking that field goal, I mean, that's one clutch play.
It was a great play, dude. The A gap was not blocked by anybody.
No,
And
I
he
mean, you're not going to lose every game. I'm not afraid of playing the Giants. Um
I wouldn't be afraid to play him again.
yeah, this next one, this was a Dame's pick. Dallas, Pittsburgh,
You
in
said why?
Pittsburgh,
Why?
Sunday night. Uh Pittsburgh, Dallas wins 20-17. Good game. And it's funny, we both picked our winners by 10. You picked Dallas by 10, I picked Pittsburgh by 10. Um I think that like it's one of those things like Dallas still has talent. And I think that Pittsburgh is definitely still needs a few things. And so it's like at the end of the day, if you go head to head in just a true football sense, Dallas is the better team here. But I picked Pittsburgh just because I like Tomlin's coaching a lot more. But
No, and I do too. I don't think McCarthy is a good coach at all.
no.
Here's what
But
I felt about this game. I felt Justin Fields is starting to get like well known and I feel like the pressures was going to be too much for him. And I felt like, and I didn't know that it was going to be a torrential downpour before this game. So
yeah, the weather
I
definitely
thought, you know what? If they can find a way to stay away from Glot and CeeDee Lamb, but here's the thing: none of this went the way that I thought about it in my head because CeeDee Lamb gave up on these guys in the third quarter. He was a non-factor in the second half of the game.
he's not really having a very good season.
Dak Prescott, to his credit, was great down the stretch. But here's the thing that really bothers me. Despite the great coaching of Mike Tomlin, they had 3 turnovers on Dallas and they had 94 yards of offense against a defense that's reeling. So
Right.
there's some shit to figure out there. And I think the Russell Wilson era is coming.
It's possible. It is possible. I think, yeah, I mean, it's like we talked about it. Like when Russell gets healthy, we talked about like you don't lose your spot because you got injured, whatever. Honestly, like at this point, after that performance, he sort of deserves a shot. I mean, it's like Justin Fields, like he hasn't really been like the primary reason the Steelers have been winning. I mean, so it's like they've been playing good team games. Like I said, Tomlin's a great coach. I think Fields is good in a better system. I don't know if Russell Wilson is better, but I think that it's like it's at least a question at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what an inspired Russell Wilson can do these days. We don't know. Like he was under complete turmoil under the coaching staff, both staffs in Denver, who could really perform under that kind of stress anyway. A lot
And
of it was self-induced with the fucking his own office and the build, bringing in his own trainer. Like, shut up! Don't do any of that shit, man. Grow up.
well, and the Broncos country, let's ride, and the Sierra all going on the news and talking about their giant house that they bought. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to like hate the Russell Wilson Denver era, but a lot of people don't remember like his last season in Denver. He played pretty well. The
Yeah,
rest of the team was really bad, but like he statistically, like he threw more touchdowns than interceptions. Like he had a good completion percentage. He was still running it, even though he's like 39 years old. Um,
34. He's
he's only
34.
34. Oh wow. I thought he was way older than I thought he
Oh,
was like Aaron Rodgers' age.
no.
Um, Either way, yeah, we'll see what Tomlin does. I will never pretend to be a better coach than him, so like I will trust his decision.
Yeah.
Um, New Orleans, Kansas City. I mean, I was hoping for a little bit more exciting of a game than this, but it seemed like kind of a by the numbers Chiefs win. They took care of business. It was never close.
I mean, it was still a game in the fourth quarter until they got that last touchdown. I think it was 13-19 for a long time.
Oh yeah,
And the Saints had the ball and they were driving, and then turnovers, and then Carr got hurt.
yeah. You need a
Was it
quarterback. It's like
game?
one of those games where New Orleans is just like happy enough to be like, all right, let's just get out of here and try next week. Like we're not gonna make a difference here.
Yeah.
So Chiefs are undefeated. Surprise!
The slow
Anyway,
starting Chiefs are 5-0. What are they going to do when they really
I
hit
know they
stride?
just lose the rest of their games. Patrick Mahomes traded to the Bears.
All right, you guys can play along um, with us on this recap show. I want to make sure that I mention two people that also played along with us because they took the time. Tom was 7-7 on the week. Angry Panda Poet was 9-5. Neither one of you beat both of us, so no prize for you.
Yeah,
I do want to remind everybody in the comments of our regular episode, every week we will have a cut and paste for you to take the teams, and all you have to do is make your selection in the comments, and we'll talk about you on this show as if you're one of us.
that's right. Google gobble, one of us.
You.
Also, and I'll mention it. I'll mention it on our other show as well. You'll notice that I am wearing the Detroit Lions today, my Megatron jersey. That's a little bit too big, but you get to choose my wardrobe every week. Put in the comments. I don't know if we had a comment last week recommending a jersey, but yeah, dress Gobo up. You can do it.
Should be our
Uh,
own. It'll be our own show, and it'll have
right.
dresses and
They'll be
all.
like they'll be like have me wear like a bear costume or
Right.
like foam cowboy hat, whatever. Either way, thank you everybody for joining us on our recap show. Stay tuned. Coming at you next, we're gonna do some predictions for the next week as well as go over some NFL news. So make sure you check out our week 6 program. Make sure you're checking out, like and subscribe, comment, share with your friends. Don't report us. Have fun, enjoy our content. We enjoy having you here. And make sure that you leave us some comments and you might get mentioned in an episode.
See you
So
on TikTok, everybody.
ticking and talking. See you later, everybody.